wish were the perfect family.
I see who I wanna be in my daughter's eyes. Love is like a river, peaceful and deep.
Nairobi, your time is now. Masani ya kutoka vlog, mwa KBC meamua lazima uomoke. Tutakuwa tunakaa mtaa yako kukuomosha very fast. Jibu maswali zangu 3 tuone kama kweli wewe ni true fan wa KBC Channel 1. Na ukizipata 25k ni yako. So make sure una watch KBC Channel 1. Alafu kinicheki kwa streets, niulize kana kuomosha leo. Omoka na KBC Channel 1. Wanga bad ni mbaya.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. Is coming to live from the broadcasting house in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. Join us for the next 30 minutes or so for news within and, of course, across the country. And I take you straight to West Pokot tragedy, where the death toll following the collapse of a gold mine site at Rumoz in Pokot, Northwest Pokot County, remains at 15 as such operations enter the second day. Residents and artisanal miners who survived the incident described the ordeal after rocks collapsed onto mining pits, trapping several workers. Some miners blamed the tragedy on heavy blasting activities at nearby sites, saying the tremors triggered the collapse. Others said they turned to the risky mining activities due to economic hardships and a lack of alternative livelihoods. Authorities fear more miners could still be trapped at the site as rescue efforts continue.
Ilifanya after baluti imelipuliwa, cause baluti kilipuliwa huwa wanaitanaga, watu wanatoka. Na kujai tokea kitu kama hii tena huku. Sasa hii mawe ilifanya kukatika, ikapata watu wakiwa wamekaa hapa chini kama hawajui.
Nimepoteza aunti yangu. Na Kenya imemleta hapa ni kutafuta
pesa ya kutulipia school fees. Na pia kitu ya kukula huko nyumbani. Kwa sababu ukipata huku zaidi maybe kama sahi mvua imechelewa na shamba nayo maybe vitu ya kukula, anakuja kutafuta pesa alafu atume nyumbani tununue mahindi.
Now, Milo Friends Boys High School in Webuye West has received a boost following the restoration of its electricity supply thanks to the efforts of a local wisher. The school had been without power for several months, disrupting operations and educational programs. The initiative was led by Humphrey Mushuma, CEO of Inua AI Group, who noted the critical role of education in community development. He urged the electorate to choose leaders who prioritize the welfare of the people, particularly children's education. Muchuma expressed disappointment in leaders who abandoned the electorate immediately after the polls, only to turn to them when faced by personal challenges.
Kuchagua viongozi ambao watatupatia mwelekeo. Mimi sielewi kwa nini ilifika mpaka Milo Boys iko na deni ya milioni 10. Inatakana tuwe na mpangilio kuanzia kwa MCA kwenda kwa mjumbe mpaka hata kwa governor mwenyewe, si ndio? Ningependa kusema ni vizuri sana tuwe wazi kwa kila kitu. Kama tumepatiwa pesa kiasi fulani, kama ni ya CDF, kama ni ya bazari, lazima itumike kwa usawa, si ndio?
Shule ilikuwa imehangaika kwa muda juu ya stima tulikuwa na deni kubwa la stima karibu 1,200. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa napoongea deni letu limelipwa, shule ina mwangaza.
We take you to Narok County, where the Masai Mara community and residents of Narok County have secured a major legal victory after the Court of Appeal in Nakuru overturned an earlier Environment and Land Court ruling on disputed 4,000 acres all Kiombo land. Now, in a ruling delivered on March 6, 2025, Judge Charles Ambogo declared Kunini the rightful owner of the land and ordered him to be paid all revenue collected from all Kiombo since October 14, 1997. The ruling also allowed him to continue collecting revenue from the contested land pending the determination of the case.
Si mali tu ya wana Narok, si mali tu ya watu wa Masai, ni mali ya Kenya kwa ujumla, na ni mali ya kisasi ya leo na kisasi ya ijayo. Nataka kushukuru the three bench judge ambayo walitoa uamuzi wa ukweli wa haki, na tuko na imani na koti zetu ya kwamba wakipatiwa nafasi wanafanya ile inastahili. Hii pia ni kielelezo ya kwamba wale watu wote wanaendelea kupora mali ya watu hawana nafasi katika Kenya hii, kwa sababu ukweli tu itakupata siku moja.
Renowned scholar Professor Raphael Munavu has been laid to rest at his home in Mbilini Village, Kangundo constituency in Machakos County, in a ceremony attended by national land and local leaders amid calls for urgent reforms in Kenya's education sector. Now, speaking during the funeral ceremony, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba lauded the late Professor Munavu for his immense contribution to education reforms in Kenya. Ogamba said that recommendations made by committees led by Professor Munavu had helped shape key reforms in the education sector. Kangundo Member of Parliament Fabian Achule urged the Ministry of Education to develop programs that support learners who failed to transition to secondary school. He noted that many learners are unable to continue with their education due to financial constraints, exposing them to social challenges and increasing the burden on society. The late Professor Munavu served as the Moi University Vice Chancellor between 1998 and 2002 and as the chairman of the Presidential Working Party on Education Reforms, playing a key role in shaping Kenya's competency-based education system. He passed on last month.
My God is always on our side. They requested or they indicated that for us to ensure that the gap in the education sector is filled, we should employ 116,000 teachers. Currently, we've employed 100,000 teachers, with 16,000 teachers going to be employed between now and next year. What does that mean? Inamaanisha ile kazi alifanya ndio tuna-implement sahi. This country, the way it's going, watu wengi ni drop off sana. We need to come up with a system. Pia tuangalie wale vijana waliacha shule from standard 8, wale waliacha kwa form 2, the way we can do to upgrade them or fit to the market of this country. Christian virtues to follow.
Now, the growing influence of Chinese language and culture in Kenya is now extending into classrooms and literary spaces, with institutions pushing for deeper cultural and educational exchange between Kenya and China. Director of the Confucius Institute at the University of Nairobi, Professor Wang Xiangzu, says literature and poetry are increasingly becoming part of efforts aimed at strengthening dialogue between Chinese and African civilizations. The cultural event held at the University of Nairobi brought together scholars, publishers and students amid plans to expand Mandarin learning and translate more Chinese literary works for Kenyan learners. Stakeholders now saying growing collaborations between Kenyan institutions and Chinese partners could shape a new generation of cultural and educational exchange.
One thing we should leave the room is shared values and shared cultural practices that we have, but most importantly, that poetry is a bridge connecting different cultures, different people to bring out one thing: nature and human experiences.
We have a plan that all the Chinese poems that are going to be produced, we can translate them even in the lower levels, so that because the language is growing in Kenya. For instance, that in our visionary books we have in the lower levels in primary, we have Mandarin books, which also we want to encourage that our students should be taking the language to the next level.
Confucius Institute is also the center for China and Africa Civilizational Dialogue Research Center, okay? And we have done a lot of, dialogue in different fields. And this time is about poetry and literature.
Nursing professionals have been encouraged to enroll for further studies to strengthen their skills and improve healthcare delivery. The call was made during celebrations held in Nairobi to mark the International Nurses Week, where speakers lauded nurses for their critical role in patient care and the wider health system. Director of Nursing Services at the Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital, Dr. Pamela Nkirote, challenged the facility's 800 nurses to take advantage of opportunities for higher training.
On this Nurses Week, I want you to know that your professionalism, resilience, and voice matters. Empowerment begins with recognition and continues with action. We have approved nurses to go for master's programs, nurses who sit here. We are supposed to have about 30% of our staff out for training. We are at 23%. I am encouraging us, take these opportunities to go back to school. We are able to balance your school hours and your class hours so that we are balancing both of them. So please take that opportunity.
We recognize that nurses are the heartbeat of every hospital. They are the caregivers, the educators, the advocates, the counselors, and the leaders.
The strength of our health systems, the safety of our patients, and the well-being of our communities are deeply anchored in the empowerment of nurses.
Kenyatta University has marked its 16th Disability Awareness Day under the theme Disability Inclusive Higher Education through Student Empowerment. The event highlighted the institution's commitment to promoting inclusion and improving access to services for persons with disabilities. The celebrations also focus on the new Disability Act of 2025, which seeks to enhance empowerment and independence for persons with disabilities. Stakeholders call for stronger collaboration and skills development, employment and entrepreneurship, while employers who were urged to reserve at least 5% of job opportunities for persons with disabilities.
That the university admits the largest number of students with disabilities among universities in Eastern and Central Africa. The majority of these students are persons with visual impairments, followed by those with physical disabilities, and a smaller number with hearing impairment, many of whom are supported within the Department of Special Needs Education. Despite their diverse needs, these students pursue programs across a wide range of disciplines, including chemistry, mathematics, pharmacy, humanities, and fine art.
We have established a Center for Hearing and Speech Excellence here in Kenyatta University, again from the academic perspective, just to address those upcoming sub-disciplines that have been neglected for a long time.
Over the years, we have implemented flagship programs such as the Economic Empowerment Support, LPO financing, provision of assistive devices, educational bursaries, and cash transfers for persons with severe disabilities.
Now that story takes us to a very short commercial break. Don't go too fast, still so much more coming your way. Stay with us.
continent full of potential, a future full of possibility. The time is now. This May, the world watches Nairobi as Africa and France come together for innovation, growth, and the partnerships that will define our tomorrow. This is the Africa Forward Summit. On May 11th, KBC and Y254 go live from the University of Nairobi for the Africa Forward Business Forum, where 1,500 leaders, CEOs, and young entrepreneurs connect for green growth, AI, and investment. Then on May 12th, we take you live to the Kenyatta International Convention Center for the main Heads of State Summit, with the main focus being green industrialization and energy transition, reform of the international financial architecture, blue economy, sustainable agriculture, peace and security. Africa Forward Summit, live on KBC Channel 1 and Y254. Don't miss it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kenya.
Wake up with Good Morning Kenya, the morning show that's got it all. We dive deep into issues shaping our country.
Youth are a voice of a nation.
What is the next step for the young people?
Unpacking political landscape from Monday to Wednesday.
We discuss family matters.
It is very important to guard your relationship.
And for your health.
Someone doesn't wake up and they become an addict. It's in stages.
We've got you covered each and every Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Every Wednesday, it's all about the viewpoint.
A day in politics is like 1,000 years.
Unpacking the biggest stories of the week, getting you insights and getting you ready for your day.
And the package is not yet done. I get to fix your Thursday with some entertainment. Entertainment Thursday, it is.
Good morning, Kenya.
We shape your day.
Good morning, Kenya. Every weekday morning on KBC Channel 1.
My name is Irene Muigai.
My name is Steve Muigai Kim. We met at campus at Egerton University, Joro.
I just saw a guy and we grew to be very good friends.
Lakini alikuwa nakatiwa anakuja ananiambia niliachwa.
And he asked me to be the girlfriend.
Dad did not attend their wedding.
Mom, dad ako wapi? Kwani hawajafika? My ankle had to be pulled.
We differed. Ile mbaya ile ya kuachana just because of a key holder. Was it a key holder?
And so I'm very intentional as a mom to help my kids process things.
Who apologizes first after a fight?
Oh.
And welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. The Media Council of Kenya has intensified efforts to mentor high school journalism students in content creation and creative arts as part of a broader push to nurture future media professionals. The Council's Director of Programs and Media Education, Victor Bure, says the initiative is designed to equip learners with skills to identify and counter misinformation and disinformation. Speaking during a mentorship session for journalism, a patron teachers from Busia, Kakamega, Siaya, Bungoma and Vihiga counties, Bure noted that the program also opens pathways for employment in the growing digital content space. Now, teachers attending the session welcomed the initiative and pledged to strengthen mentorship ahead of the Western Region Student Journalism Club's Expo set for May 17th at Mukumo High School.
Ni kujaribu kukuza vipawa na weledi wa wanafunzi katika shule za upili ili waweze kusawazisha talanta zao na umilisi wa elimu ambayo inahitaji ujuzi.
Hawa wanafunzi waweza kuwa wanashikwa mkono wakianzia secondary, by the time wanafanya form 4 watakuwa wameona pia opportunities kwa utangazaji ama film making yenye itakuwa pia inawasaidia kupata kazi.
The Media Council of Kenya ni mradi ambao
utajenga mtaala mpya huu wa masomo ambao unaelekea mno upande wa talanta.
I take you to Homa Bay County, where students in Thiwa constituency, Homa Bay County, have gotten a major relief after Action Aid supported the construction of classrooms in 4 schools in the area to help address the shortage of learning facility. Now, speaking after receiving the classrooms, the stakeholders said learners had for a long time faced challenges due to inadequate learning space that resulted to overcrowding in classrooms. They noted the new classrooms will provide a better learning environment for pupils, which will result to improved learning outcomes.
Today we are here to celebrate this project because the project will come handy for the children who are learning. This is one of our major strategic objectives for the program this year, and this project will we also anticipate that the future impact for the project will be improved enrollment.
In the last 1 year before the beginning of the construction, the classroom was not there. We had a mabati structure which was not done. It was leaking. It was not even fit for learners to stay in.
And as a mother, I'm so happy because our children now, they will learn in a conducive environment where they can concentrate.
Now, from Homa Bay, we take you to Murang'a County, where teachers have staged a protest over poor pay and job insecurity, warning that current employment terms are undermining their welfare and professional dignity. Officials from the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, led by Branch Executive Secretary Thomas Waweru, criticized the prolonged use of internship terms, terming it unlawful and demeaning, while demanding urgent reforms. The educators are also pushing for full autonomy of junior secondary schools, arguing it would improve working conditions under the competency-based education system. In turn, teachers say the current stipend is insufficient to meet basic needs, calling on the Teacher Service Commission to review pay and ensure dignified livelihoods.
And whatever we are communicating from Murang'a branch is very clear, that the 44,000 teachers must be confirmed. Walimu power, teachers viva. And there is no option to that. No option. Failure to which, Walimu power. Failure to which, teachers viva. We are going to paralyze the learning system in this country.
We have gone through the teaching practice. We have gone through full-time 2 years internship program. Then again, you come here and cumber us with things that do not enhance our autonomy.
JSS was supposed to be an independent institution. We are appealing to the government, to our president, please consider, hear our cries. We want to know our career progression in those junior schools.
It is very devastating to work as an intern teacher, being paid 17,000 per month. You have bills to pay, you have families to take care of, you have siblings to take care of. At the end of the month, it is usually more disappointing.
Viva! Viva! Viva!
Now, Samuel Mushina Nyaga has emerged as the UDA party flag bearer for the July 16th Ol-Kalou election after winning the party nominations with 3,221 votes. It was closely followed by George Wambogo Kanuri, popularly known as Delight, who garnered 3,077 votes, while Peter Njoroge Mugo finished third with 1,049 votes. Samuel will now battle it out with the DCP candidate who will emerge the winner in the DCP party primaries that are currently ongoing.
The race to succeed the late David Kiarao has gained momentum after the ruling party finally unveiled its candidate in the hotly contested race that attracted 10 aspirants. However, voter turnout remained low, with only about 8,000 votes cast compared to the 72,000 registered voters in Ol-Kalou constituency during the 2022 general election. We therefore declare
that the winner of today's nomination is Samuel Mushi.
First thing I want to congratulate is our National Elections Board that was able to open all the polling stations within an hour since 6 a.m. in the morning, and therefore we had some people who voted very early in the morning.
I am very much encouraged by the people of Olkarau for giving us an opportunity, everybody to give their message. And we as a party, we do have a message, the message of development.
Elsewhere, a section of the Kenya Kwanza leaders led by the Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheruiyot has called on the united opposition to stop insults and spreading of hate across the country.
Tutahakikisha tumeharakisha kupitisha majina ya wale makomishona wa NCIC, National Cohesion and Integration Commission, ili viongozi wale wanashiriki katika lugha chafu na kutukanana na kufanya wananchi wachukiane kwa msingi wa dini ama kabila ama rangi wachukuliwe hatua. William Samuel Ruto atapiga mapema asubuhi sana, atakuwa ameingia sasa. Sasa Uhuru Kenyatta akimaliza yake anataka kutuambia William Ruto asiende miaka yake 10.
In the meantime, their counterpart who were in a rally in Busia launched their attack on former President Uhuru Kenyatta, urging him to retire peacefully and stop hiding behind some politicians.
If William Samuel Ruto akiwa deputy president alikushinda kuweka Raila awe president, saa hii ukia retirement utaweza kweli? Ile ambayo tuko pale na Uhuru tukitafuta power, wewe unatafuta power na power imekufikia, tena unataka kutoroka kuacha power atuende kutafuta vitu vingine, utakuwa kitu hapo si mzuri.
The same script was replicated in Olenguruoni, Narok County, where leaders affiliated with the Kenya Kwanza administration slammed the former president and DCP party leader for allegedly igniting instability through divisive politics.
Kibaki aliongoza mwaka 10. Uhuru Kenyatta aliongeza mwaka 10. Enda nyumbani chunga wa jukuu.
In a rejoinder, former Kirinyaga woman representative Wangui Ngirishi has defended the former head of state, saying Mount Kenya leaders must respect his political legacy, saying his development record in Kirinyaga remain visible and unmatched.
Nasema wale ambao wanaingilia Uhuru Kenyatta wasicheze na sisi watu wa Geshogo. Tunaweza jipanga tukuje tupige duru hadi muachane na yeye.
Finally, Kiambu Governor Kimani Wamatangi has declared that he remains politically non-aligned ahead of the 2027 general election, saying he will vie for a second term on the party ticket that Kiambu resident will support.
Na mimi sitaenda kuinda chama wapi ama wapi, nitakaa hapa Kiambu. Kama ni chama inakuja, nyinyi muniambie ni gani mnataka. Unajua watu wanaona tunanyamaza hivi, wanafikiri ni ujinga. Hiyo mambo yote mnafanya tunaweza fanya.
The governor's statement comes as political activity intensifies across the Mount Kenya region, with Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata already hinting at his political path. Timothy Kipnusu for Lunchtime News.
And our Principal Secretary for Sports, Elijah Mwangi, has called on Kenyan players taking part in emerging disciplines to register with the Sports Registrar's Office as part of enhancing their professional development. Now, while congratulating skating ace Kelvin Kiari at his Talanta Plaza office, PS Mwangi noted the importance of having athletes from the emerging sports register formally to overcome challenges presented by non-compliant parent federations.
Kuna vijana pale hapa wako na talanta lakini hawana namna kama hawajulikani kwa federation. So tukiwa hapa na Kevin tumesema ya kwamba ni vizuri tuwe registered. Yes, sir? As a sports person, the registrar of sports hapa kwa ministry can register you as a sports person. Once you are registered as a sports person, whether you have problem with your federations or not, the government will have no challenge in supporting you. But now, you see now you have federations have rules, have challenges. So sometimes we are left to deal with federations first so that they can put their house in order, but that does not mean that we fail to appreciate.
And we have had a robust discussion concerning many issues that are affecting not just me as a skater, but all skaters in general, and even other people who are in other emerging sports like our own sport. And I'm sure that with the guidance and the procedures, the established procedures. We are going to have the things that you committed to do, they happen urgently. And in the future, we hope not to see, with your help obviously, not to see people have to endure what have had to endure by representing their country.
Now, Junior Starlets head coach Mildred Cheche says they are treating each and every qualifier match as a World Cup game, and they go into the qualifier tie against Uganda with the mentality of playing at the World Cup level. Junior Starlets will face Uganda in the first leg of their FIFA Under-17 Women World Cup qualifier on 22nd May before returning home for a second leg 8 days later. Our lunchtime news on KBC channel, but before I let you go, this is what to look up to for the EPL. Liverpool versus Chelsea at 2:30 p.m. Quite a huge game. Brighton versus Wolves at 5 p.m. and of course Fulham versus AFC Bournemouth at 5 p.m. and of course Manchester United will be playing Sunderland, and finally at 7:30 Manchester City will be playing Brentford. My name is Givasun Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. See you again next time when you see me.
Asawa wataka nini? Acha nikwambie Vizena. Wakati wako umeisha, na wakati wangu. Unasikia?
Lazima tutumie muda tulionao vizuri. Ongea nami tafadhali.
Kusudi la sarakasi ni nini?
Kwani Maimuna aenda? Kwani unafanya nini tena?
Toki hapa mpaka ni ajadili ninayoongelea, sawa?
Beko